Welcome back once again to howtocookredfood.com. If you haven't already, please click that button and subscribe to our channel. On the menu today, and as you can see here, we're going to make a fantastic lamb and potato curry, Indian style. Got some beautiful spices in there. Pretty easy. Does it taste good? You betcha. Let's go and do it. Okay, let's take a look at the ingredients we're going to be using today. So at the back I've got 1 can or 400 ml of tin tomatoes. You could be using fresh if you wanted. 1 decent sized sliced onion, some potatoes. Now my potatoes, what I've done is I've peeled them, washed them, and I've parboiled them, so they're kind of on the way, about sort of half cooked. Some fresh chilies, I'm putting mine in whole. You can chop them if you want. We're going to start this dish off with some cumin seeds. There's like 2 teaspoons there. Our lamb, now our lamb's got bone in it, a little bit of fat. There's about 500 or 600 grams there. Garlic ginger paste, there's like a really big, 1 massive heaped tablespoon of that. That's a 50-50 mix of garlic and ginger. Then our powders. As always, if you're regular to the channel, I call these the big 4. We've got turmeric, cumin, chili and coriander. Equal parts of, nice heaped teaspoon for this amount. We're going to start this off with a touch of oil. Of course, add some salt and maybe a few other little bits. Let's get over to the cooker. Okay, so we've got a pot here. I'm using this little wok, got some oil in there. I'm using a sunflower oil. If you wanted, you could be using something else. Let's drop in first our cumin seeds, and just for a few seconds let them do their thing in that hot oil. They'll infuse that oil, give it a wonderful flavour. Now if you wanted bay leaves, cloves, green cardamom, black cardamom, fennel seeds, mustard seeds, the list and combinations of this is pretty much endless. I'm just going for cumin seeds today, and that's about right. Just about to lower the heat now. Simply, we're going to now drop in our lamb. In it goes. And not on a simmer, above a simmer. Let's cook this meat for about 5 to 6 minutes, stirring often. We need to give this a really sort of big head start before we add other ingredients. Give it a stir every now and then. Okay, there we go. As you can see, that meat's changed colour, of course. Not cooked all the way, and again, depending on the kind of quality of the lamb you're using. If you're using a kind of more tougher chewing mutton or something really tender, that's going to really change how long we cook this for. But we're going to stew this for quite a long time. It's going to be beautifully tender. Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to get in some onions. That regular size or kind of medium sized onion. I've sliced mine, you could chop it if you want. Then we're going to go for that garlic ginger. Like I say, a massive tablespoon of that. In that goes. I think I better add a bit of salt right now before I forget. I'm also going to add in now my chilies. Now I'm putting my chilies in whole like that. You can fetch them out later, or if you want, chop them up. Staying on this heat, so kind of just below medium. Let's go for about another 4-5 minutes, stirring often. This is going to be wonderful. Incredible. Onions, garlic, ginger, chili in the mix there. Great. Let's get some powders in. So if you want, use a curry powder mix that you've already got, or do what we do here, the big 4. So equal parts of turmeric and coriander there, about a teaspoon each, and then cumin and chili powder. Works out a little bit better if you use the individual spices. So as you can see, we're starting to get that wonderful masala colour now. That turmeric's doing its thing. The chili powder. The chili powder I'm using is a Kashmiri chili powder, which actually is quite vibrant when it comes to colour as well. Some chili powders give you nothing. The Kashmiri one, so if you can try and find that, that's really good. That's what we pretty much always use here. That's great. Now we're going to go in with those tomatoes. That's just 1 can of chopped tomatoes. We're going to add a little splash of water in there. So cold water. What's that, a cup? Maybe a cup of cold water. This is looking tasty as can be. Right, what we're going to do now, Keep it on this medium heat. Let it go now for about 7 to 8 minutes. Give it a stir every now and then. If it gets a little dry through evaporation, just top it up with a little touch of water. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a lid on this and then give it a stir every now and then, 7-8 minutes. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, let's take a look now. A bit of steam out there for you. See, that's looking fantastic. I love it when that sort of oil separation happens. Beautiful. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to get our potatoes in. Like I say, I've parboiled my potatoes. So it's sort of, you know, half done. If you were putting them in raw, you'd want to put them in a little bit earlier. Oh man, this is smelling amazing. Looks great. Really fantastic. What I'm going to do now also is add a little pinch or two of garam masala powder. 1, 2 nice hefty pinches in the mix. If you need to know how to make garam masala, we've got a video on the channel. You can check that out. Give that little mix around. Lid's going to go back on now. Now I'm lucky that my meat is pretty good quality, so I know it's going to be nice and tender. So I'm going to let this just go for about another 5 to 6 minutes. 1 second, let me grab a little bit more water, a bit of cold water there. And that goes. Lid back on, 5 or 6 more minutes on this kind of, you know, fairly low heat, kind of medium or just below a medium. What we're looking for now is to get our potatoes nice and tender and get some fantastic flavour into them. And that's about it. Lid on, 5 or 6 minutes. See you then. I think we're pretty much done. Okay, let's take a look here now. Off comes the lid. Off goes the heat. I'm going to finish this off with a little bit of fresh coriander or cilantro. Check that for salt. And this beautiful baby is done. Super tender lamb in there. Nice and spicy. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you soon. Lots of love.